Week 2 power rankings. Let's go. Definitely not doing this on the Sunday right before the games. No, I wouldn't do that. No. Okay. All right. So the way I'm going to be doing these power rankings is I'm going to consider how talented the team is, but also how well they performed. Considering how well this team performed, the New Orleans Saints, I'm putting them at number 10. I felt like I had to. Yes, they're playing the stinky Carolina Panthers. Yes. But 47 points and your defense plays well, I just have to put that in the power rankings. Power rankings are not a best team list. It's the power rankings. And after that performance, I can't see how the Saints are not at number 10. And coming in at number 9, not the Colts, even though I'm showing them here, the Houston Texans. Based off of what I saw from the Colts, I think they actually might be a good team. They might compete for a playoff spot. And Houston dealt with them, pretty well. And even though it was a close game, in reality, the Texans were the Colts were fighting from behind pretty much the entire game. And CJ Stroud, he was very efficient. Sure, not his best game, but for a week 1 game when most other people were throwing picks and looking like absolute just bile, he looked pretty good. Because most people look like they haven't stepped on a football field in their life during week 1. It's actually embarrassing. But that's not the case with CJ Stroud. I have a feeling they'll be moving up in the power rankings in the next couple of weeks, but they just haven't faced a tough enough opponent quite yet. But I'm pretty sure they will move up. Again, CJ Stroud, he's that guy. He's going to be competing with Mahomes to get into the Super Bowl for probably the next 10 years, at least. All right. Now, coming in at number 8, it's the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Baker Mayfield was just losing his mind out there. 4 touchdowns, 0 picks. That's a dream right there. Did he have 300 yards? I think he might have. If not, he was very close. The only reason I'm not putting them higher is because, they're facing the Commanders. The commies. The dirty commies. So, I don't know how representative this win is of how good they are, but it was such a great performance by their offense and pretty good by their defense that I had to put them on there. So they earned the number 8 spot. Number 7. The Buffalo Bills. Again, you have to take... The hell is that? You have to take... Some bird is losing his mind outside, but you have to take the competition into consideration. And the Arizona Cardinals, I think they'll be a decent team, but maybe not a great team. But Josh Allen, no turnover. Anytime Josh Allen doesn't have turnovers, he's had a great game because he's that good. If he doesn't turn the ball over, he is a menace. So, Buffalo Bills, although their defense could maybe use some work, they look pretty good. Now, I would have had them higher in the power rankings if this was, the power rankings for next week, because obviously I'm recording this after the Thursday night game, but that wouldn't be fair. I'm not going to include that. So, based off of the first week, I'm putting them at number 7. Number 6, Angry Joe style. It's the Baltimore Ravens. Yes, they lost, but, you lost to the 2-time back-to-back Super Bowl champions by a toenail. I gotta put you up there. Even though, yes, there were definitely some concerns with how much Lamar was running, when you face the Chiefs and do that, I just have to give you credit. They almost won that game. Harbaugh was gonna go for 2. So, if they can do that with the Chiefs, they can compete with pretty much anybody. But it is just a power ranking for 1 week, so they did lose. So I would have put them a little higher, but just because of the loss, I'm going to have to put them a little bit behind. And also, they were maybe a little farther away in that game, and the Chiefs really could have dominated them if a couple things didn't go their way. So that's why I'm putting them a little further back. But still, great team. Would you look at who we have here? Coming in at number 5 is the Dallas Cowboys. Yes, I know. If you watch my other video, you can tell I don't like them. I am an Eagles fan, of course, but I have to respect them. Honestly, I did think the Browns were going to beat them. So, I think the Browns are going to be a decent team this season overall. So, blowing them out, yes, it's week 1, but it's still impressive. So, I got to give them credit for that. But again, when the other quarterback is hitting the ground 50% of the time and is, 0 of 10 on throws 15 yards down the field, it's kind of hard not to win that game. But at the same time, they looked pretty dangerous. So, a number 5 spot is justified for them. Number 4, I had to put my Philadelphia Eagles, my birds. Yes, I know there was many turnovers, I understand. But when you consider that they didn't play at all during preseason, and this was basically a preseason game in the first half, I doubt they're going to turn the ball over like that, especially the fumble on the snap. I doubt they're going to do that over and over. Or the fumble on the tush push later on that we recovered. So because of that, we did look very sloppy. I wouldn't put us higher. But I think Green Bay, they could make it to the NFC Championship game. They should have made it to the NFC Championship game last year. And Jordan Love, I think he's going to be a great quarterback. So that's a really tough team. Like the Packers, they're probably a top 4 team in the NFC. So putting up 34 points on them despite 3 turnovers, I don't know how that could be considered as anything but powerful. So when you take the quality of the opponent, the Packers, who I think are a top 4 NFC team, they're very dangerous. And the point total at the end, I think that justifies the number 4 power ranking. And come on now. A.J. Brown, that offense, Devontae Smith, Saquon, with more talent in the secondary. The Eagles are going to be very good this year. Number 4. Number 3. It's the Detroit Lions. I'm telling you, man, if the Eagles don't win the Super Bowl, I'm definitely rooting for the Lions. They could really break their curse. Finally, after so many decades, generations. My whole life, they've pretty much stunk. For multiple generations, they've stunk. But now, they got a great offensive line. Their defensive line looks better. Davenport looks really good. They're getting great pressure. Dan Campbell's still a great coach. They focus on the right things. They get the run game going. And that helps Jared Goff. And the only real weakness is that Jared Goff maybe isn't quite an elite quarterback. But he's good enough that they could still win a Super Bowl with him. The 49ers should have won a Super Bowl with friggin' Jimmy Garoppolo. Maybe the Lions aren't that talented as that team back in 2020. So, you could definitely win a Super Bowl with Jared Goff. He's definitely better than Jimmy Garoppolo. So, the Lions, in that game on Sunday night, the Rams, they're a tough team. And the Lions just powered through them, through the ground, especially that overtime drive where Montgomery just turned into the Terminator and just started steamrolling people. Oh, I love when teams do that. Just like, we're just going to run the ball and just obliterate you. I love that so much. Turn them into oatmeal. Lions, number 3. Oh, look at that. The team that I was just talking about before, the 49ers. Even without Christian McCaffrey, their run game is still deadly. They still have all those weapons on offense. And, man, Kyle Shanahan sprinting up to the front office, trying to get back Ayuk on literally the last hour before the trade. Dude, I wish that was recorded, because that sounds like a Rocky moment or something. Had to be the most scary, tense 5 minutes of his life. Probably not as scary as the Patriots Falcons game back in the Super Bowl. But that's... Anyways, I like to roast Kyle Shanahan, if you couldn't tell. But during the regular season, all those coaching concerns aren't there like they are in the playoffs. He just executes such a perfect game plan, mostly perfect. Brock Purdy, he's like a Jared Goff type of a quarterback. Very good, but maybe not quite elite. But he's more mobile than him, so he might even be a little bit better than Jared Goff. It's hard to say. But right now, number 2 is appropriate for them. Almost won the Super Bowl again. And man, they just dismantled the Jets. And I think the Jets are actually a decent to good team. But the 49ers are just so stacked and loaded, it doesn't matter. I mean, they could win 15 games, the 49ers. I'll have to look at the schedule, but they really could. So, number 2. And, well, you know who's going to be number 1. Drum roll, please. It's the Chiefs. It's the Chiefs. What a surprise. They could actually three-peat. Yeah, they almost lost the game to the Ravens. But they still would have had the 2-point conversion, but I mean, they probably should have won that game by about 14, at least 10 or 14 points, but they just didn't convert. But hey, you're facing a really good team like the Ravens. A win is a win. It's the first week. Most teams played way worse than that in their first week and had worse competition. And I mean, they won the Super Bowl with that roster last year, with their sorry-ass wide receivers. I mean, Rashee Rice was their best wide receiver. And now they have Hollywood Brown. He's injured, but I'm sure he'll come back eventually. They definitely don't need him. And Xavier Worthy looking like a track star with Patrick Mahomes passing to him, like as if he even needed that. As long as Andy Reid is there, as long as Patrick Mahomes is there, and Spagnuolo is there, and Travis is there, they have the same general manager. They're going to be a great team. Because all those guys, they just can't fail when they're together. It's going to take a monumental effort just to dethrone them. I mean, who can even... Maybe the Bills with a more sound game, with Josh Allen having less turnovers, can beat him. The Texans with C.J. Stroud. I mean, I think C.J. Stroud is an amazing quarterback already. He can definitely win the MVP. He's that good. It's hard to say. I was going to say the Bengals before the season, but well, we all saw the Bengals last week. They tend to play bad. But honestly, the only teams that I think could really stop them maybe are the Bills, Ravens, Texans. It's hard to say. And 49ers, Eagles. Yeah. Yes, I'm including my Eagles, okay? Look at our roster. But even then, they're just going to be the favorites. So, again, Chiefs, number 1. Get the Bengals come back and beat them week 2? I don't know. But that's the week 2 power rankings. And yes, I'm calling it week 2 because week 1 power rankings would have happened before week 1, like going into the season. So week 2 power rankings. All right. Hope you enjoyed the video. I'll see you later. Peace.